Good morning to everyone. Welcome to the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the challenger to the US President Donald Trump. Who is this challenger and what are his challenges? This editorial talks about the challenges that Mr. Bernie Sanders is going to face and how does it start. Challengers challenge. Here the challenger is Bernie Sanders, and the editorial talks about his challenges, what challenges he's going to face in the near future when it comes to standing against Donald Trump. On Trump's Democratic rivals, and here there's one word, rivals. Rivals means opponents. Bernie Sanders needs to widen his support base without compromising on principles. So it talks about what he has to do, the Democratic challenger, Bernie Sanders, when it comes to opposing or facing Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders needs to widen his support base without compromising on principles. Now let us go to the actual editorial. President Donald Trump may be enjoying the optics and bilateral bonhomie on his maiden official visit to India, but he must be aware that back home, the clock is ticking on his first term in office. This talks about right now Trump is in India and he must be enjoying his maiden official visit, but at the same time he must be aware of what is happening back home. And it says that the clock is ticking on his first term in office. President Donald Trump may be enjoying the optics. Generally, optics goes with the field of physics, light, but here it talks about public perception. Someone is being in the limelight, and someone getting exposed to public perception. President Donald Trump may be enjoying the optics and bilateral bonhomie on his maiden official visit to India. Maiden means first. This is the first visit of Donald Trump to our country, but he must be aware that back home, that is an important expression, back home. But he must be aware that back home, the clock is ticking on his first term in office. Indeed, Mr. Trump's Democratic rivals have trained their political guns on his record in office for some time now. It means he is being challenged for quite some time, making it quite likely that the November 2020 presidential poll will be preceded by a blistering campaign. This talks about how it is going to be the US presidential poll in the month of November 2020. The editorial says that it is going to be a blistering campaign. There's an important word here, blistering means intense. While no single candidate stood out prominently from among the pack through the season of Democratic debates, some such as Kamala Harris dropped out and the herd was winnowed. This talks about what happened when it comes to the Democratic debates. While no single candidate stood out prominently from among the pack through the season of Democratic debates, some such as Kamala Harris dropped out and the herd was winnowed. There are two important words here. One is herd, which means a group, and the other one, winnow. Usually the word winnow goes with agriculture, but in this context it means to reduce, make a larger number, a smaller number. Now from among the stronger candidates, the primaries and caucuses have handed the edge to one of the president's most strident critics. It talks about what happened. Initially, there were a bunch of candidates, aspiring candidates, and among them the prominent Kamala Harris dropped out. Now what exactly happened because of that? Have handed the edge to one of the president's most strident critics. Strident means very strong critics. Vermont is one of the states in the US. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. The self-professed Democratic Socialist has pulled away from the rest of the pack. That means now he stands out, including former Vice President Joe Biden, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, former Mayor of South Bend, Indiana Pete Buttigieg, and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar after his win in the recent Nevada caucuses. Caucuses, the initial debates that go with the presidential election in the US. Among those fighting for the nomination, Mr. Sanders perhaps stands the best chance of surviving a toe-to-toe battle with Mr. Trump, given that, like his Republican challenger, he stands somewhat askance of his party's mainstream ethos. This talks about who has a better who has got better chances when it comes to becoming the presidential candidate from the Democratic Party. It talks about the chances are very bright for Mr. Sanders. Among those fighting for the nomination, Mr. Sanders perhaps stands the best chance of surviving a toe-to-toe battle with Mr. Trump. There's one important expression here, toe-to-toe battle, means what? A direct conflict between two people or groups, possibly in close quarters. A toe-to-toe battle with Mr. Trump, given that, like his Republican challenger, he stands somewhat askance of his party's mainstream ethos. There's one important word here. It is not a regular word, askance. Askance means suspiciously, to look at something suspiciously. There's one more word, ethos. Ethos means values. For example, showing the mettle to take on Wall Street excesses rather than lean on them for fundraising support. For example, there's one example here, showing the mettle. Mettle means courage to take on Wall Street excesses rather than lean on them for fundraising support. This goes with the political scenario in the US. This trait, the word trait means a characteristic feature. It also means a quality. This trait goes well with the apparent anti-establishment voter mood. Indeed, it was this mood that Mr. Trump masterfully tapped into win the 2016 election. This quality or this characteristic feature goes well with the apparent anti-establishment voter mood. It talks about what exactly a typical American thinks, and it goes against it is like anti-establishment. There's one word here, apparent. Apparent means obvious. You could also think of the word evident. What is it? Apparent anti-establishment voter mood. Indeed, it was this mood that Mr. Trump masterfully tapped into to win the 2016 election. It also talks about the same mood Mr. Trump masterfully tapped into and won 2016 election. Tapped has two or three meanings. One meaning is exploited, another meaning is harness. The challenge for Mr. Sanders, and which he appears to be gradually surmounting after perhaps learning from his nomination loss to Hillary Clinton in 2016, is to deepen his popularity among minorities. What is the challenge? Now he talks about what exactly the editorial says, the challenger's challenge. Here the challenger is Sanders, and what are his challenges? The challenge for Mr. Sanders, and which he appears to be gradually surmounting. This is an important word. Surmounting means overcoming. After perhaps learning from his nomination loss to Hillary Clinton in 2016. So what is his challenge? It is to deepen his popularity among minorities. In the US also, there are minorities. Who are these minorities? African Americans, Latinos, and other ethnicities, ethnic groups, traditional groups. So he has to deepen his popularity among these minorities. That's what the editorial talks about. Nevada, one of the 50 states, differs from the two states, Iowa and New Hampshire, that went into caucuses and primaries respectively. So what exactly happened when it comes to Nevada state? Nevada differs from the two states. What are the two states here? Iowa and New Hampshire, that went into caucuses and primaries respectively. Before it, in that it is considerably more racially diverse with a 35% non-white population. It talks about how Nevada state is different. It is different in the sense that it has non-white population to the tune of 35%. The timing couldn't have been better for Mr. Sanders too. This is a very good expression. The timing couldn't have been better for Mr. Sanders too. It means what? This is the best time for Mr. Sanders. In less than a week, 15 states and territories will vote their preferred candidate on a single day, Super Tuesday, including large racially diverse states such as California. This talks about the perfect timing for Mr. Sanders. Why is it the perfect timing? In less than a week, 15 states and territories will vote for their preferred candidate on a single day. That is going to decide the fate of the candidate, and that day is Super Tuesday, including large racially diverse states such as California. California is again one of the 50 states on the West Coast. If Mr. Sanders performs well, cornering a bulk of the 1,357 delegates up for grabs, it may well become impossible for any of the other Democratic hopefuls to even the score later on. So if he can make an impact now on this particular Super Day, then it would be difficult for his opponents to even the score later on. That's what the editorial talks about. The big question is, Will he then succeed in carrying independent and undecided voters along with him in the presidential election? And can he move swing states in his favor? In the US, some states are considered pro democratic, some are considered pro Republican, and a few states are swing states. Usually they decide the outcome when it comes to presidential election. This sentence talks about that. The big question, what is the big question here? Will Sanders then succeed in carrying independent and undecided voters along with him in the presidential election? That is one dimension. And the second question here, can he move swing states in his favor? If he does it, he is going to win the elections. If he is to stand a chance of doing that, what will be the impact? Many think he may need to consider moderating what Mr. Buttigieg described as a dogmatic belief in an inflexible ideological revolution that leaves out most Democrats, not to mention most Americans. If at all he succeeds, he may need to consider moderating. He has to moderate what Mr. Buttigieg described as a dogmatic belief. There's one important word here, dogmatic belief. Dogmatic means it has two or three meanings. One of the meanings is a creed, belief. Another meaning, dogmatic belief here means a very strong belief in an inflexible ideological revolution that leaves out most Democrats, not to mention most Americans. So he has to moderate, and that's what it talks about. To reach out to the wider voter base without losing his core support is a challenge before Mr. Sanders. The editorial ends on the same note. It talks about the challenge that Mr. Sanders is going to face. What is that challenge? To reach out, to reach more number of people, to reach out to the wider voter base without losing his core support is a challenge before Mr. Sanders. This is all about the US presidential election that is going to take place in the month of November in 2020. And he talks about the challenges that Mr. Sanders is going to face and how he has to handle those challenges. This is about today's editorial. And now I think it is time to, it is time to work on language proficiency, enrichment part. Have a look at these words and try to get the meanings of these words. Some of them are rather easy and a few are difficult. Have a look and try to answer. I will respond based on your response. Let us start with the first word. What is the first word here? Rivals. Already I see a lot of students responding. 1E, rival. It's an easy word. Try to guess the part of speech also. Now on, let us take it to the higher level. I have been doing for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and slowly I want to raise your standards. Now, till yesterday, I was giving the part of speech. From today, I want you guys to first guess the part of speech, then go to the meaning. Then that will help you in the long run. Rivals, for today, I will start with this. I will write the part of speech, but second word, you should think of the part of speech. First, you write the part of speech, then you go to the meaning. Rivals, singular, and rivals, plural. So which part of speech is it? A rival, it is a noun. And what is the answer? I see a lot of students, they have responded well. The answer is 1E. Now go to optics. Second word is also a noun. Optics goes with physics, study of light. But in this context, it talks about being in the limelight, being pursued by the public. So what is the answer to, let us do a bit slowly because we are working on the parts of speech also. Don't go to the meaning directly, write the part of speech. To noun, and what is the meaning of that? Study of light. But in this context, it is not that meaning. It means what? Being in the limelight or being pursued by the public. Now go to the third one, bonhomie. Bonhomie, which part of speech is it? It is, I want you guys to guess. Don't go to 6, 7. Already a lot of students have gone to. Don't do that way. Let us do slowly in a systematic way. And now on, try to go to the higher level. Bonhomie is a noun again. And what does it mean? 3 is not adjective. What is the meaning of that word? Friendliness. Friendliness. Ness, obviously. Friendly nature. When you say friendly nature, then it is an adjective. I like his friendliness. Ness usually that is a noun. So what is the answer here? A is the answer. That's right. Now go to the fourth word. First you guess the part of speech. Yes, olive branch. That is right. Adjective. Ravi says for blistering. Adjective, that is right. Once you write the part of speech, then you go to the meaning. Yes, gerund. That is, no, it is a past, present participle used as an adjective. It's a non-finite verb. So what does it mean, blistering? Answer is C. What is C here? Intense. Blistering attack, blistering argument, or blistering debate. Blistering means intense, not courage. For it is C. I see a lot of students have got it right, the part of speech and also the meaning. Now go to the fifth one. We know, we knowed. Obviously it is a verb. It's a regular verb. You could also write which type of verb. That will help in the long run. Only verb, one level. Type of verb also you could, if you write, that will be like you're going to the higher level. So we know is a verb. We knowed past and past participle forms. It's a regular verb. What does it mean in this context? To reduce the number, a larger number becomes a smaller number. Imagine initially 100 candidates, then it comes down to 10 candidates. Then we say the herd winnowed. The number has come down. Now go to the sixth one, askance. This is not a regular word. Even winnowed is not a regular word. Bonhomie, important word. Rivals, easy word, not a problem. Askance, part of speech, adjective, that is right. Not easy to make out. And what does it mean? D is the answer, that's right. What is D? Suspiciously. Now go to the seventh one, metal. Yes, Prasad, that is right. Reddy, that is right. Sai Sri Reddy, that is right. Now 6 is over. Go to the seventh one. Metal. Prove your metal. Metal, part of speech, noun. That's right. Prove your courage. Prove your metal. Prove your skill. Prove your ability. Think of similar expressions. Then you feel comfortable when it comes to the part of speech. Now, what does it mean? Metal means what? Yes, I see Gitanjali F and Monica F. Ram also says F. Spandana says F. Yes, a lot of students say F. That is right. What is F here? Courage. Prove your mettle. Prove your ability. Prove your courage. Yes, Lakshmi also says F. Divya says F. Kumar says F. That's right. I appreciate. Shravani also F. Now go to the next one. Pooja says courage. That is also right. Trait, part of speech. First, think of the part of speech. It is a noun. That's right. Ravi. What is it? A noun. Trait, singular. Traits, plural. Characteristic feature. Also quality. So what is the meaning? Trait means what? Eight, it is not adjective, it is a noun. Answer is I, characteristic feature, or you could also think of the word quality. His trait, his quality, his characteristic feature. This is an important word. Metal, also an important word. It goes with everyday English as well. But surmounting, that's an important word. It goes with effective English. And surmounting, overcoming. Surmount, think of the part of speech of the form surmount. Surmount, which part of speech is it? It is a verb. That's right. Overcoming, surmounting, overcoming. So what is the answer? What is the meaning of that? B is the answer. That's right. I see a lot of students have got it right. Now what are you left with? Dogmatic. Dogma means belief, religion, creed, philosophy. Another meaning of dogmatic, someone thinks he is very strong and he tries to impose his ideas on others. In this context, dogmatic belief, a very strong belief, and part of speech is adjective, obviously, because in the editorial the combination is dogmatic belief. Belief is a noun, dogmatic adjective. And what is the word you're left with? G, strong. That's right. I appreciate all those students. Today it is going to be different, quite challenging in my opinion. And now time has come to change the regular patterns. Last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I've been following a typical pattern like parajumble, close, the regular patterns. Now slowly I want to change the models and take it to a higher level so that you find it interesting and challenging. So today's close test, you see 4 words, 5 words rather: ethos, metal. First, you listen to me: trait, apparent, and tapped. There are 5 words. And down you see 5 words, and all the 5 words are the synonyms of these 5 words given in the editorial. What are these 5 words? A, B, C, D, E. These are the synonyms of the 5 words used in the editorial. Now, your job is consider each one a blank, and based on these words, you have to get the correct order. In place of ethos, which synonym you have to use? In place of metal, which word? In place of trait, which word? And here you see the options, 5 options, and which one is the correct option? You have to select the option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which option goes with the correct order of synonyms? No, don't take one at a time. You choose the option. Spend some time, tell me which option. CEDAB, third option. I don't think that is right. It is easy in a way. You got to be a little smart. Ram has got it right. Spandana has got it right. And Raju also, Divya has got it right. Geetanjali has got it right. Malyaji has got it right. Lakshmi, Shravani, Yadav, Raghu. No, Divya again. Nag, Maunika also has got it right. All these, that's right. What is the fifth option here? BECAD. B means what? Values. Ethos means values. And what is the second one? E. Metal. Metal means ability, courage. And what is the third one? You got ethos, values, metal, ability or courage. And C. Trait. Trait means what? Quality. That is right. Trait, quality. And what is the next one? Apparent. Apparent, A. What is A? Obvious. That is right. And what is the last word? Tapped. D. What is D? Harness. Tap, harness, or extract. So, how do you find this? Easy or difficult? Is it, I want your feedback, easy, difficult, can manage, challenging? One of these you have to say. Exactly. Once you get the first one, oh, easy. That's a bit surprising. I see a few students, almost all the students say easy, but 1 or 2 students say quite challenging, and 1 student says moderate, but 90% easy because of the elimination approach. Fine. Based on your standards, I will get the exercises. We can go to the higher level. Now, these should be a bit difficult. I don't think these are rather easy. Scrambled sentences. In the past, they would give regularly, and for some time they stopped. But again, they have started scrambled sentences. What is a scrambled sentence? They take a lengthy sentence and they divide the sentence into 4 parts or 5 parts, and they change the order. You have to get the correct order of these parts so that you get a grammatically correct sentence and also meaningfully correct sentence. Have a look at the first one. Consider this as 1. Yamuna has already responded. Ravi has responded. Let us see. I see a lot of students say BDCA. Lakshmi, Pooja, Nagamani, Ravi, Gitanjali, Ayesha, Malyadri. What is this BDCA? Let us go with that. I will write here. BDCA. President Donald Trump may be enjoying the optics and bilateral bonhomie on his maiden official visit to India, but he must be aware that back home, the clock is ticking on his first term in office. Perfect. It is correct. What is the correct order? President Donald Trump may be enjoying the optics and additional information and bilateral bonhomie on his maiden official visit to India. Contrasting idea. But he must be aware that back home something is happening. What is happening? The clock is ticking on his first term in office. Very good. I appreciate those students. Please go to the next one. Yes, Sumit Kumar, that is right. Rajesh, it is right. Shivashankar, that is right. Olive Branch, that is right. Go to the second one. Malyadri says DCBA. Nagamani says a different order. Ravi says DCBA. I see a lot of students, they say DCBA. Let me go with that. We'll cross check. The big question is, the big question is, will he then succeed in carrying independent and undecided voters along with him in the presidential election? And can he move swing states in his favor? This is right. DCBA. The big question is what? The big question is, will he then succeed in carrying independent and undecided voters along with him in the presidential election? And can he move swing states in his favor? Very good. I appreciate those students. Look at the next one. Are you talking about the third one, DCBA? I will write here DCBA. What is D here? The challenge for Mr. Sanders, and which he appears to be gradually surmounting. After perhaps learning from his nomination loss to Hillary Clinton in 2016, is to deepen his popularity among minorities. DCBA. That is the correct order. Yes, DCBA, not DACB. No, that is not right. I hope you guys are talking about the third one. That is right, Naveen Kumar, DCBA. Those who have said DCBA for the third one, absolutely right. Now please go to the last one. I want you guys to respond to the last one, scrambled sentences. How come no response? Lavanya has got it right. First one to respond. I appreciate Srinivas then, and Nagamani also, Shavani also, and Gitanjali, Sheshri Reddy, Maunika, Yamuna, Ravi. Yes, that's right. Olive Branch, Naveen Kumar. A lot of students have got it right. What is it? No correction required, or you could also say A, B, C, D. Excuse me. I would like to have the feedback. How do you find these easy or difficult? Scrambled sentences. Which one are you talking about, Yadav? Please mention the number. Even these are easy for you guys. That's wonderful. I appreciate. Looks like you guys are good at English. That's really good. Now, I see a few students moderate and a few students say easy. That's good, good enough. Now, one student says rather difficult. That's okay. Now, errors, not the regular pattern. In each sentence, you find three errors. Today, it is multiple errors. I will add the word multiple. Multiple errors. In each sentence, you find three errors. Three. Who wants three? Please give me a minute. Third one talks about the challenge for Mr. Sanders. The challenge for Mr. Sanders, and which he appears to be gradually surmounting. And which he appears to be gradually surmounting after perhaps learning from his nomination loss to Hillary Clinton in 2016 is to deepen his popularity among minorities. Now, what is that you want me to explain, or which order do you think, and tell me why? Then I will tell whether it is right or wrong. Sumit Kumar and also Ayesha, you wanted this sentence. So, what exactly you thought of the order, and tell that order, then I will say why it is not correct. Okay, they are not responding. I'll move on. These multiple errors, each sentence has three errors, so you got to read very carefully and answer. Indeed, Mr. Trump's Democratic rivals have trained his political guns in his record in office for some time now. Read the sentence carefully. No, no, that is additional information. After D, it is not A. It is not A after D, olive branch. Third one. Yes, I see students responding. Better you write all the three words at a time, not one at a time, all the three one shot. Then it becomes easy for me to make out whether you got it right or wrong. No, no, what I suggest, there are three errors each sentence. Read the sentence carefully, identify the errors, write all the three words. Then it will be easy for me to tell whether you got it right or wrong. Yes, I see Lakshmi says their record, that is right. Here, his political guns. Indeed, Mr. Trump's Democratic rivals have trained his, not correct, their, what is the word here? Their political guns in his record, not correct, on his, that is right. In is not correct, on his. And what is the third error? Third one is rather easy. Will be. Precede is not correct, it should be preceded. So, what are the three errors? There, on, and will be preceded. Now go to the second sentence, multiple errors. That's right, olive branch. There, on, preceded. That is better that way. Yes, Geetanjali, that is correct. Please go to the next sentence, sentence number 2. A lengthy one, you have to read carefully. Lakshmi says amongst is not correct. That is right. I'll round up this one. She also says stands. He stands. Where is it? Stand here, it is not correct. Stands. And what is the third one? She says take on, to taking on. Absolutely right. She has got all the three correct. Here, amongst is not correct. It should be among. If the word after the preposition begins with a vowel letter or vowel sound, then we should use amongst. But here, those, it doesn't begin with a vowel sound. It doesn't begin with a vowel letter. So it should be among, not amongst. Among those fighting for the nomination, Mr. Sanders, perhaps stand is not correct, stands. Because the subject is third person singular, sentence is in present tense, affirmative, we should add S or ES to the verb. Stands the best chance, that is right. And here, for example, showing the metal to do what? To take on. You cannot use the ing form here. And not present form olive branch. 2 plus, it is a basic form. Here 2 plus verb basic form. 2 plus verb basic form or infinitive. Basic form or infinitive. That's good. I appreciate those students have got all the three correct. A lengthy sentence. This one should be easy. Again, there are three. Please don't use V1, V2, V3. That is not the right approach. Remember, basic form or infinitive, present, past participle, present participle. Better and a professional approach. There won't be any ambiguity when it comes to learning English grammar if you take that approach. Read sentence number 3. This should be 4. Do in a systematic way, try to get the first word. I want you guys to type all the 3 words in the same order. Then I can make out, I can respond. Sai Shri Reddy says, differs, that is right, first error. Differ is not correct, it should be differs. And she says goes is not correct, it should be went, that is also right. And what is the third one? Considerable is not correct. It should be considerably, B-L-Y. So what are the 3 errors? Differs, went, context is past, and adverb considerably, not considerable. A 35% non-white population. There is an article, nothing wrong with that. What are the 3 errors? Differs, went, and the third one is considerably. Very good, I appreciate those who have got it right. Now, sentence number 4 is again a lengthy one. I read carefully. Srinivas says need dogmatic revolution. That is right. Here, needs is not correct. There is a helping verb. He may need, not needs. And what is the other one? Dogmatic. Belief is a noun. The word before that should be an adjective. It cannot be dogmatically. Dogmatic belief. That is right. And the third one, an indefinite article and any indefinite article. It goes with singular countable nouns. Here the noun is in the plural form, which is not correct. So it is not revolutions, it should be revolution. Need, dogmatic, revolution. That's very good. I appreciate all those students. How do you find these? If you say these are also easy, I'll be taken aback. I'll be surprised. So how are these, easy or difficult? I would like to have your feedback. You have done well, I really appreciate. Within no time you could respond, you could spot all the errors. That is highly appreciable. Ram says, easy, sir. Rather difficult, Nagamani. Naveen says difficult. Between moderate and difficult, or rather challenging. That's right. What is a word map? What is a word here? Askance, not a regular word. Mains level, someone says. That's good. Askance means what? Suspicion. One word, suspicion, everyday English, rather easy. Brain teasing, Ravi, okay. Skeptical, it goes with effective English, important word. Askew, this is also an important word. Disapproval, easy to make out, you don't have to focus on that. Mistrust, easy word. Sideways, easy word. So there are three words which you have to focus on, spend a few minutes after the session. One is askance, skeptical, and askew. These words are important from the exam point of view. Have a look at these phrasal verbs. Two are difficult, and you should get all the five. Who doubts everything, skeptical. Yes, that's right, Lavanya. Skeptical means a person who doubts everything. A person who thinks everything negatively, then we use the word cynical. Cynical means always negative attitude. But doubting something, then we use the word skeptical. Come across, already students have started responding. Come across is what? Find something by accident. That is right. I came across these photographs while I was sorting out the papers. Perfect. You got a D. Come along. One. C is not correct. One is D. Now go to come along. Two. Two is C. What is it? Accompany someone when going somewhere. Come along with your brother. Come along with your friend. This is what we say. One is D. Two is C. What is the third one? Come off. This is a bit difficult. Come off. Go to the third one. Three, it is not A. No. Three is E. Srinivas has got it right. And Malayadi also. Come off means when something becomes separated or unstuck from another thing. It is like falling apart. Fall apart. Come off. When something becomes separated. That is a key word for you. Come out. This is rather easy. A is correct. Come out. Appear or leave the inside of a place. Come out. And the fifth one is important. Come up with means what? Create or invent something. What is the fifth one? You're left with only one. Which one is that? B. Come up with, create or invent something. Here, fifth one is important and first one is important. This goes with everyday English. Come along with your friend. Come off, important, not easy to make out. Come out is rather easy. Have a look at these 5 idioms based on toe to toe from the editorial, related idioms. Toe to toe, you have got it in the editorial. What does it mean? Already you have got the meaning. Toe to toe means what? One E. That is right. What is E here? A direct conflict between two people or groups, possibly in close quarters. Remember the phrase, close quarters. Very close, then we say in close quarters. On your toes. Something makes you be on your toes. Buffering. Do you have buffering problem? Any problem with the video? I don't see any problem here. 2C. That is right. 2, not D, it is C. What is C? To continue directing all the attention and energy. To be on your toes means to be very attentive. On your toes, it also means, I would like to write the word, attentive. Be attentive, on your toes. Oh, Ravi has given all the 5. Put your foot down. Hold that one, not a regular one. Get cold feet, very important. You have got this many a time. To experience reluctance or fear. So what is 4B? Drag your feet. It goes with everyday English. Don't drag your feet. Means what? A. Do something very reluctantly. Delay doing something. So what are you left with? Put your foot down. And which option? Deal with someone in a strict way. That is 3D. That's right. Who has got all correct? All these idioms, who has got all the five correct, that is highly appreciable. 1E, 2C, 3D, 4B, and 5A. That's good, I appreciate. Nagamani says, Ravi says the same thing. A few students have got all the five correct. And headlines, there is one word here. Virus cases spread outside China, but there's nothing to learn from that headline. Turmoil in Malaysia as PM Mohammed resigns. There's one important word here, turmoil. Turmoil means what? Disturbance. And what is a typical combination? Political turmoil. Generally we say political turmoil means what? Political disturbance. And Assange put lives in danger. There's one important expression, put lives in danger. Sometimes you have to learn the word, sometimes you have to learn the expressions. And what is this one here? Democrats will stop Sanders, says Trump. Here it talks about says Trump. If you think of the reported speech, here the reporting verb is in present tense. Then you should remember we cannot, the tenses don't change. You have to recollect related grammar. And Weinstein guilty of sexual assault. Assault, guilty, that's an important word. And assault also worth, it's important from the exam point of view. Assault in this context means what? Attack. Assault. Assault means what? Attack. And the word guilty. Guilty, you say someone is guilty. What does it mean? The person has committed crime. You feel someone has not committed crime, then what is the word? Innocent. Do remember these two words go with everyday English, and these two terms go with their legal terms. Everyday English, guilty, you all must be knowing. I feel guilty, I felt guilty, but someone is innocent. These are not everyday English words. In this context, legal terms. Someone is innocent, has not committed crime. Someone is guilty, has committed crime. When someone is innocent, he will be acquitted. What is the word you have to recollect? Acquitted. And someone is guilty, he will be convicted. You have to recollect these words. Guilty, convicted. Innocent, acquitted. And assault means attack. Ten injured as car rams into crowd at German carnival. Carnival is like a festival, celebration in public, carnival. You all must be knowing. And there's one word here, rams into. The car rams into. What does it mean? Ram into. Go into, in this context. Go into a crowd, go into a group of people. A person who committed crime called guilty and someone not committed crime innocent. That is right, Sumit Kumar. I appreciate that. And we'll go to the next one. What is the next one here? International. Let us see. Give me a minute. Oh. Looks like something went wrong here. Let us go to the last page. So, what is this? What does it talk about? Can you see the last slide? Something went wrong here. I'm sorry about that. Can you please respond? I can read you. Can you see the last slide? Enrichment slide. Looks like we have a problem. Something went wrong. I am really sorry about that. And can you listen? Can you hear my voice? Please say yes or no. Forget about the slide. Is the audio on? Audio is also there. Is there a problem with the audio? Forget about the video. Audio is okay then. So today's enrichment, something went wrong. I'm sorry about that. It is like you got a lot of words like arrivals, optics, bonhomie, blistering, vinod, and askance, metal, trait, surmounting. Next, you got dogmatic, lavish, drag, scare, fragile. And you got five phrasal verbs: come across, come along, come off, come out, come up with. And you got five idioms: toe to toe, on your toes, put your foot down, get cold feet, drag your feet. And that's it for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the session and give the feedback. Based on that, I'll try to take it to the higher level so that you get benefited. That is objective. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow with a new editorial.